Hi. Thanks for being in the house. Thank you for being here. We're gonna get started here in a little bit, but oh my gosh, this energy we've been going through. Ooh. Seems like I've been saying that on a lot of lives, that all of this energy we've been going through has been so real. How have you guys been doing? How everybody been doing? Star, what's good? What's up, fam? Let some more people get in the house real quick. Go fill my water up. We're gonna talk about some things tonight. Yeah. Talk about some things tonight. Empress, what's good? What's good? Y'all come on in. Talking about this new timeline that you've been assigned to and embodying that message that we've been given. Hitting a whole new frequency, y'all. Whole new frequency. All right, y'all, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go grab me some water, and I'll be right back here in a sec. All right. We back. What's good? See you in the house. All right. About to get started here. Hope everybody's doing good. A little candle lit here for a second. Turn that down a little bit. It's pretty loud. All right, y'all. Everybody doing? What's up, Sweet Pea? How you doing? Can y'all hear me good? I had to turn that music down a little bit. It seemed like it was really loud. But if you can hear me right there, let me know. Hey. Get my candle of wholeness lit up. Tranquility and wholeness, right? Because we are all one. And when I light this in union, in unity, that we are all one. Because we are all inhabitants of this biodome, of this realm, right? We're all here together. If y'all can hear me good, throw a 13 in that comment for me. Let me know. Because if I need to turn the music down a little bit, let me know. I don't want to have it too loud. But y'all better hear me. All right. Let me see. Boom. Okay, there we go. I'm saying them 13s now. All right. So the eclipse, right? The energy was so amazing. As I say that with 13 viewers, this is amazing, right? It was such a profound time of us transitioning from the old to the new. We were existing on the old timeline, and our consciousness was existing on the new timeline because we were seeing the things that we wanted to be. We no longer believe them any longer, because see, to believe something is to doubt. It's to even have an air of doubt. No, we literally consciously existed on our new timelines. Now, as we are in this eclipse window, where, you guys know, I've been speaking of this time for a while, that we've been waiting to get here. And we've jumped over to that other cliff consciously. We've seen the better versions of ourselves. We've done the shadow work. We have literally taken ourselves from the basement to the penthouse. We've seen our value go from what the world deemed was valuable to what we deemed was valuable. To understanding that we had such a higher purpose, that it was beyond anything that we could ever truly conceive. We are at the time now that some have called the Great Awakening. We're at the dividing of the timeline. This started in 2016, 2017, this division of consciousness. See, we have been chosen and divided and separated out, not because we were just so much better than everyone else, no, but because we made choices. We made choices on behalf of humanity. We made choices for the greater good versus the choices for ourselves, even though we were doing a lot of internal work. See, we are in the reformation of humanity. You chosen ones, you ones that have been sorted out, that have been, I'll say, had your ass whooped a lot. You shed a lot of tears. You've went through the suffering. But see, you were sorted out and chosen because this is the reformation, the reforming of humanity. And you are a reformer. See, there's a lot of informing that goes on, right? We call that information. That hits you threefold. Because information, meaning that you're going in line with everything that is given. And then it's forming your inward parts. Because whatever you speak, whatever you say, that you shall have. And then it's hitting us outwardly in the world we live in. Because as it is within us, so goes it outside of us. Because we are in this reforming, this reformation of humanity, now the true spiritual leaders have been called forward. That's what this eclipse did. It opened up the windows of heaven, so to speak, so that we could embody our true higher selves. See, it's been a long time since we have really truly had full incarnations in these temples. We've only partially incarnated up to these points because we couldn't be our true selves. When we were our true selves, we cause revolutions, we cause revolts. So this eclipse that we just went through, it was the cutting off of the old timeline. Like, done. See, this is why they needed a reset. They said it clearly. They needed a reset because our reset was up on us. And now the revolting of humanity is here. And I don't mean revolting as in undisciplined behavior. I mean revolting as in a revolt, a recharge. Volt is the charge, VOLT, volt, a charge of energy is now resurging through humanity. See, the chosen ones were clearly identified and marked on that 14, on that 1, 4, that 5. You won't be able to fake it moving forward. You either are or you are not. And you will know clearly. You will know a tree by the fruit it bears. So discernment will be required. But the true spiritual leaders, and get back to that, have been called forward now. And I told you guys a couple of months ago that the true masculine, the true vine of masculinity would resurge back on earth. It would be reborn, but it would be born out of necessity. See, it ain't always pretty. Birth is not always pretty. Sometimes birth gets pretty messy and grimy. Sometimes in birth, death happens, right? Confirmation ding. Sometimes in birth, death happens. This is why the kingdom of heaven suffers violence, and the violent take it by force. Humanity is at warfare. Humanity is at war right now. They're in a warfare, I should say. And they're in the war for the very collective souls. And if you are a member of humanity, you are in that war. This is why there's such a battle for information. This is why there's such a battle to form the inward parts of humanity. the inward thoughts, the inward being. They even want to form your DNA and your chemical makeup. This is why we are the reforming. We are the reformation. See, we live in loops in this matrix. Hopefully you figured that out by now. We live in a matrix that's looped. Time is a figment of your imagination. And time is your true currency. It is what you truly have of value to spend here. This is why you spend your time. What do you spend your time doing? Because whatever you spend your time doing, that is where you have placed your value. So in this time matrix, we live in loops. We live in circles. We live in cycles, whatever you want to call it. It's still going round and round and round. And I don't want to digress on this, but as we're talking about this loop matrix, really let that sink in, because this is what they base their rituals on. This is what the ones who control society base their rituals on these cycles, on these loops, on banking and betting in stocks and bonds, on the fact that you will gladly choose again to put your consciousness back into the matrix cycle. See, it's a choice. So you got to understand how profound this is. This is why I tell you it's the age of Gemini. And I can prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt, but it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter to prove it. We're past the time of having to prove stuff. We're now in the time of doing. You either receive or you don't. Because we are at the split. We are at the reforming. The ones that have chosen to reform humanity will be moving forward. The sleeping souls that went to sleep at the wheel, we're going to lose some of them. And I'm just speaking reality. They'll return in cosmic return. They'll go back. They'll return to source. Nothing has ever lost the source. And every time I say this, I must literally I must literally say nothing is ever lost. Nothing is ever lost. It only changes form. But as far as our soul group, members of our soul groups that we came in this thing with, all of us ain't leaving the same way we came in. We're going to leave better than we came. But we also got some that won't leave this matrix at all. They'll be used as energy sources for this matrix until it's done. It's a soul game. It's a game of souls. So, like I say, we got to understand this as beings that are here and chose to come into this realm, chose to walk this walk. We, as those beings, also have to understand the game which we play, because your soul does depend on it. Everything you use in this matrix comes from your soul, your centrical energy. You are a synergistic being. In you is the unity point tying in a stream of energy. You are the unisect of that, the unici, the universe. This is why you're powerful. So right now, the true spiritual leaders have been called forth. This eclipse have called you forward. It has said that now it is time to step into your purpose and disconnect humanity from the distractions that have kept them going left and right instead of right or straightforward, I should say. Now we should be preparing to disconnect humanity from all of the distractions, because there are sleeping souls that you are guardians of, that you have been called to protect. They have been waiting on you. They have been waiting on you. They just don't know it. And it may just be one little thing you say, one little thing you do, that awakens another. As we step into this time, we are being reborn into the authority. We have been chosen to walk into this authority. See, a lot of people like to think this is a battle of, good and evil and dark and light. They have to put a title on it, right? But it's a battle of consciousness, of angles of consciousness. The angles that leads humanity to light and the angles that lead humanity to darkness. This is why they had the ages called the Dark Ages. All they are telling you exactly what these ages signify. They had the Enlightenment. They had the Dark Ages. They also had a Reformation of spiritual consciousness. And that's where we are at. Just like in the past, they had a Martin Luther. And guess what? In this Reformation, we've had a Martin Luther. And they both met the same fate, because we're in the loop. We're in this loop of consciousness. This is why, I've been getting so many just moments of awareness and downloads about Chicago. And it's been amazing. The tie-ins that have come from the California fires to Hawaii to even Wyoming right now, where Bill Gates is building under his new company, Terra Power, the biggest nuclear plant that I think probably has ever been on this continent. So we are that change that we want to see. These structures that are getting ready to be put in place, that are getting ready to be shown to us, are for our use, for our purpose. Do not be dismayed by them. Don't think that it's going to bring up something that is not meant to be brought up onto this new timeline, because this is that split. And when I first saw it, I was like, wow, this is why they had to really start the information war. This is why they had to start trying to inform humanity again. We are fighting this war in the clouds. Remember, this is a battle that has taken place against the prince of the power of the air, or the one that controls the airwaves. Our species, what you're looking at right now, what you look at when you look in the mirror, our species is a sovereign one not meant to be subjugated to any commands of anyone other than who the species is deemed to be, whether it be self-sovereignty or whether it be government. But now humanity is going to start awakening. They're going to start going within, and they're going to start questioning a lot, because this is what the eclipse has done. It has cut off the old timeline energy. And the choices that have been made have been made. So as we ascend into this newness, I've seen it over, I want to say between 24 and 26, that we're going to go through this just profound change, almost overnight. And there are going to be so many that awaken at that point, just like almost overnight. Masses of people awakening. The eye awakening, right? The way I called it about 2 weeks ago, the eye awakening. Their eye is going to awaken. They're going to step into the sovereignty of their mind, because we're coming to the end of the age. So the zombie apocalypse, we've been living through it. We've been going through the zombie apocalypse. The zombie apocalypse was soul beings being sleep in the body and living as NPCs. I'm going to say that again. The zombie apocalypse was soul beings living in the body and living beneath their power, living as NPCs, knowing something was wrong, but was helpless to do something about it. But now that eye awakening has arrived. And between these two eclipses that we're having, it's going to be amazing. So we get the lunar eclipse, which seals in the shadow side of this. See, this is why we were doing shadow work. I told you the higher self is coming in, the shadow is coming in also. They're coming into union within that temple that you call self. True power. True power. The power of the light and the dark coming into union within. Because you are the way showers. You are the ones that awakened first. That's why you went through so much. I can't say that enough. That's why you went through so much. Because who better to show someone how to ascend through all of the muck, all of the mess, than someone who has walked that path before? Who better than you? What were you chosen for? You were chosen for this time and this purpose. To be that best version of you. Beautiful. Beautiful. And by choice, you step into it, right? Because the harvest process, let me explain this. Because this harvest season, right? It's Halloween, right? Harvest season. What are they telling you? What are they really saying to you when they say this is harvest season? Look at what they're doing. The collective thought. Well, let me explain this first. How they harvest, or how our matrix is made. The energy around it, right? From us, we're batteries. So our collective thoughts, along with emotion, this produces our physical reality. Let's say that again. Our collective thoughts. So if we think we're all in some big engagement where A lot of people are being unalived, and we all truly believe that. And we throw emotion behind that. That actually creates our physical environment. This is why it's time for us to disconnect from the information or the informing of us. It is time for us as soul beings to start forming the society around us, to become the virus in the machine. Because this is what they were, giving you bee stings for, because you are the virus. You are the virus. And when you say things, you speak things, it spreads. And it becomes a mental, virus that awakens others. Because see, you're already the ghost in the machine, so to speak, that they can't capture, that they can't put their finger on. This is why you're so, so special. And you were chosen for this time, this zombie apocalypse, this awakening. Because there's a lot of soul beings. Trust me, I get to talk to so many. I am so prosperous, and I thank you guys so much for reaching out to me. And I get to talk with you guys as newly awakened beings that are finding my material, and they are reaching out, and they're saying, what are you talking about when you say false ascension matrix? What are what is this? Because for them, they have literally truly opened their eyes and realized that they're stuck in a cobweb of deceit. They are trying to distinguish what is the lie from the truth. And when you're surrounded by both, it's very hard to discern sometimes. So I'm very prosperous, but that's why I can tell you this awakening is happening. The third eye, or the first eye of humanity, is opening. And they are seeing that there has been so much hidden from them, so much taken away. So you ones that have been called, you ones that who have the power within you to exist in your own beingness, your own trueness, your own truth. Be it. Just be that best version, the best version of you. Be the best you can be. Because I'm telling you, there are people who have been genetically assigned. They have been genetically assigned to awaken when your energy enters the room. When your voice is heard. So, I like I said, I've seen a lot of this informing that they're doing now, and how it leads to destruction. Like I told you guys, I've been hearing a lot about Chicago. Look at Oprah, Obama, all that with BlackRock, all the way with Chris Rock and Will Smith, all this whole loop they have been trying to engross us in. This cycle of lies. The other day they had the Chicago Marathon. They ran it in Loop Park. And I was kind of in this dream state where I was it was I can't remember what day it was, but I was kind of in and out of sleep, right? And I kept hearing Chica, Chica. And phonetically speaking, that's the way you say Chicago. Chica, Chicago, right? Like Chica. So Ka means spirit. She, of course, feminine, the feminine spirit. Led me back to Hawaii and the fires, just everything on the feminine energy. How we need to be watching the waters at this point, and not just the physical waters, the atmospheric waters too. Remember, there's a river above your head. There's a water stream above your head also. So we live in ether. We live in an ethereal place. And it's pretty amazing when you really do the science behind it. But the harvest process that humanity goes through every time this year, you've been programmed to give your energy. This is why they want the holidays or the holy days. The whole E. They want the whole energy. The whole thing. That's why they have these days. And they want you to celebrate, celebrate. Do you know what that means? You're giving your energy to it. You're celibate to it. You're committed to it. These holy days, these holidays. And then they give you Hollywood. They're all these harvesting rituals, these distractions that are meant to harvest humanity, to harvest your essence, your consciousness, to make you feel less than because you can't purchase something. I mean, come on. See, the mark of the beast, before I move forward, the mark of the beast that exists upon the forehead or the hand of a man that is spoken of in Revelations is when your thoughts and your consciousness, and your actions are geared toward survival. That's all you care about. Like, think about Black Friday, lines of people willing to fight each other and kill each other over some mechanical device that probably won't even work here in a couple of years. The mental war of humanity is on. The fight for the soul of humanity is on now, fully engrossed into it. This is why the people who are named in this, the characters that are playing forth, this is all symbolic of the sleeping souls of humanity that are mentally right now struggling and fighting in their awakening. It is the war that is inside of the collective consciousness that is producing the war on the outside where we live now. This is why humanity has always been at war in some way. Well, I should say since the takeover, since the extraterrestrial takeover, but we're not gonna go there. Not in this video. We're not gonna go there because that destruction, that war and that destruction is coming too. But we can't go there yet until we're ready to go there, until we're one. Until we're one. We have to become one and remember that we are one before we start collectively pushing back against the controllers. Like, this real talk. That's why everything is done in its time and its purpose. We are here for a certain purpose right now. And that's why I keep saying the purpose is to be the best versions we can be, to awaken as many as we can. Because we are that change that we're begging for, that we're crying for. We are it. And if we don't be it now, there's no one else coming to be it, to express it. Whatever it is you do, whoever you are, there's nobody else coming to play your part in this film, in this production called life. You're it. This is, I mean, this is the show. This is it right here. The fact that you're in a body, the fact that you're in a temple right now, that means you're one of the best of the best. So it's time to stop playing small and fully incarnate into this temple at this time. Because this is what you came for. This is who you came to be. You know, this, you know, I'm thinking right now about the bioregenesis we're going through. We're going through this whole change, you know, back to the original, back to who we were. And when I say that, I don't mean like we're going back to be the things that we used to be. No, we've done that. We're progressing now. But what we're doing is we are going back to the original blueprinted template of these temples, the human temple, where these bodies were glowing. I love to talk about this because as I've seen it in my visions and as I've remembered past lives, this was one of the most amazing things, the abilities that we had, that we lived off of light. We consumed light. Therefore, we were light. You are what you eat, right? You are what you eat. You eat junk, you look like junk. It's just what it is, right? But see, right now, the eclipse started a new bioregenesis within us, in all of humanity. All of those who all of those who can process the light that entered the temple. Because you had to have made no alterations or changes to your temple to receive this. And it ain't even an upgrade, it is a regenesis. And the regenesis of our template has to do with our kundalini energy, right? That energy that should be existing right here, but exists down in the root chakra. So we are raising from the dead. We're rising from our death, from our zombie apocalypse, y'all, in real time. This is so special right now. You are raising your genetics from the dead. You are raising your consciousness from the dead. You are raising your bloodline from the dead to exist in the new phase of humanity. You are taking steps that are bringing the whole collective into the newness of the reality we are creating right now. You are the change you want to see. See, you are the high tech. You are the one that technology is trying to keep up with. This is why in this harvest season, they're going to do some harvesting, because it's time for them now to transfer consciousness, because the timeline now is splitting. So this is why I'm telling you now that it's time to get your stuff in order right now. Whatever, you understand that shift happens, right? And when a shift happens, shit happens. It ain't about fear. It's about just understanding where you live. I can't say this enough. You know, you can go, you can have $1 billion, go out and buy any car you want. If that was your reality, you could have those things, right? But to quote unquote make it legal, you still have to go through some paperwork. You still got to fill out some things, get insurance, blah, blah. There's still things you got to do. Because to transfer or shift that vehicle over from the previous owner to you, it's going to require a little work. That's where we're at right now. Y'all feel me? We're in the shift. And we're shifting from one side to the other. And this bioregenesis that we're in right now, like I said, is here to accelerate us, to expand us into this new form of consciousness that we are embodying, the natural organic consciousness of this realm. You are a template holder of that. That is rare now. That is rare now. You got to understand. There's not a lot of holders of that. So these techniques and these things that we are embodying, that we're living through right now, this is your message. This is what you're embodying. So when I say you're embodying your message, the very thing that you are giving out, you're speaking, are the very things that you know. It's now time for you to embody them, to live that. And you will, because that frequency, that energy is going to embody you. And it's not that you won't have a choice, you're just going to have the power to complete these tasks now that are assigned to you. So important, right? So I think that's about it for my update. For the most part, y'all, we just got to make sure that we're healing our root chakra, because this is a huge time now to ground in and not be harvested during harvest season. It's just, this is the biggest harvest season of holidays, especially here in America, because we go from Halloween to Thanksgiving to Christmas to New Year's Day, and they give you all of that in one season. Why? See, 1 month is not just harvest to them. They harvest you over that whole time, and they call it the dying of the sun, or the Christ Mass. Mass means death, right? The Christ Mass, the dying of the Christ, of that gene within you, the crystalline genes within you. It's all a ritual. It's all a ritual. Just like right now, Israel is the biggest leader in software development for AI technology. Y'all really hear me on this? Biggest software developers. They have been transferring consciousness for so long, it ain't even funny no more. This is what the movie Get Out was about. This is what they were talking about, transferring consciousness. The movie Avatar, transferring consciousness. Because now the loop, they are ready to jump the loop. That's what CERN was about. That's why they were so concerned. That's why they needed a reset. Because this is the loop point, or the break point, where the record has been scratched. This is why they have to have a world war, or at least give you the illusion of it, because then you'll gladly jump that loop again. This is why they need soldiers, which actually stands for soul die. A soldier is a soul dyer, soul die. And all of this requires our active participation. Without our active participation, none of it works. So yeah, I mean that, you know, it's time for us to unblock that root chakra, ground back in through it, because the root chakra, with a healthy, grounded in active root chakra, especially as a masculine, you no longer live in fear. You no longer live in regret. You live in balance. You live in truth. So when this eclipse came, it cut off their frequency, which gave you a bit of a reset for a moment. Notice that in that eclipse, you didn't see no moon. I'm going to say it again. You didn't see a moon in the eclipse. I got pictures of it. I was looking at it happen all the time. There is no moon. So what eclipsed? The sun or the soul. See, this is why we're starting to have eye awakenings. This is why we're starting to see the truth. Because the truth does set you free. It sets you free from the chains of ignorance. It sets you free from the bonds of spiritual poverty. I have two sons, y'all. Two souls. You're in the age of Gemini. We're in the twinning, the union. You're coming back into wholeness with yourself. You're coming back into wholeness with Source. You're waking up to the fact that you are the embodiment of the soul that lives in this temple. And you are sovereign and free to create upon this earth, in this realm, whatever you desire. What is it that you desire? Do it. Bring the benefits of you to this realm. That's what's going to change it. Not begging for rights and begging for freedoms. You got to be sovereign in to be sovereign without. So, like I said right now, the ones with the power are being called right now to go forward now. You are the spiritual leaders, the true spiritual leaders. You are being called to go forward now and speak that truth and be way shores. You are. You are the Reformation, the ones that have been reborn for this purpose. Why else were you chosen? Why else were you reborn? To live your best life yet. And while doing it, you're explaining to humanity how it's done. You're showing them whatever it is. Because like I said, there is no other you. You are it. You are Source in that area. You know, it's one thing I remember when I was a young father. It was an older gentleman, but he told me, he said, man, being a father is real. He said, because it's like you're God to your children. As a father and a mother, he was speaking as parents about parents. But he said it's like you're God to your children. And I was like, wow, like that stuck with me. And now I understand what that man meant. Because what you say is like gospel truth. They see what you do and they follow your actions. Most times they want to be just like you, so they imitate you. We live in a mirror matrix, a dual matrix. So let me make sure. I talked about the zombie apocalypse. It was some other things I wanted to touch on, but I don't think I want to put them in this video or this live. But it had to do a lot with Halloween and everything that's coming up in their harvesting ritual that they've been doing with BlackRock here for the last year and a half. Because they're setting up to jump the loop. They're sitting up to jump the broom, so to speak. Big, huge ritual, especially with the Super Bowl coming up. Um, because they're gonna be. I don't even know what Usher playing it. I don't even know what he playing it, but I can tell you right now, it's gonna have a lot of. Some people gonna see Pleiadian, but it's gonna be North Pole, right? It's gonna be a lot of black rock, sexual energy, because that's the Kundalini energy. That's the Kunda energy. The Kunda waves, the electrical currents of the earth, is what they are. And these Kunda rays are powerful. This is what we are activating to have access to again. This is how, where people talk about superpowers, you have to have the genealogy to be able to activate certain cellular structure in your body that would allow you to have quote unquote superpowers. And superpowers aren't superpowers, it's actually just normal power. I'm gonna say that again. Superpowers are not superpowers, they're just normal powers that you're supposed to have. You're supposed to be able to levitate and elevate. I mean, this is what you're supposed to be able to do. These are things that, telepathy. I'm not supposed to have to talk to you. This is what the Tower of Babel was. Really think about this. Let's unpack that. What was the Tower of Babel? Humanity chilling, doing their thing, building a tower, say, hey, we're going to build a tower to heaven. Did they say they was going to destroy heaven? Did they say they was going to do something bad? Nah, he's just building a tower, chilling, right? All of a sudden, God says, nah, you're building a tower to heaven. Let's go destroy it. And then let's confuse their language. Why? Because if we don't, there'll be nothing that they will not be able to accomplish. Man, I got chill bumps on that. Whoo. I feel so much ancestral power on that, because ancestors have been speaking about this for a while to me. There is no thing we cannot accomplish when we come together. Nothing. Everything is possible to us when we come together. So therefore, if we want this realm to be paradise, all we gotta do is say we want that. And then put all of our collective energy toward that, instead of money and living in a system that wants to kill you and harvest you. That's all it wants to do. Why not change the system? Why keep living in a system that only wants to harm you and hurt you? I don't get that. It's called Stockholm Syndrome. It's called Stockholm Syndrome. We want our abuser. It's even written about in the Bible. What happened when the children of Israel left? What did they want? They said, oh, we want to go back to Egypt. We want to go back to Egypt. Stockholm Syndrome. See the loop? See the loop? We're doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different, result, and it ain't gonna happen. It's gonna be the same thing. And for most of us, this is our last go around in this anyway. We up out of here. So now we got to be the change we want to see, to be that virus to spread, because this is what they truly was trying to X out. This is what they was trying to X out. So, like I said, right now it's all about unblocking that root chakra, grounding it back in, finding true love for self, true gnosis of self, and living in that truth, walking in that truth, existing in that truth. Because when you do, you're going to change your realm and your reality, your immediate space. The vibration of it will change because you are there. because you are anchor point of source, because you are there. The atmosphere will change, and it will change from a atmosphere of fear. It will change from a atmosphere to at all joy and love, because you're there, because you are an etheric being living in ether, and you can charge the particles of air by being there, because you are an electromagnetic being that's meant to produce this high vibrational light. Just saying, knowing who you are, y'all. That's it. We at the end of the zombie apocalypse. We were living through it. You know, they wanted it to be all scary and, you know, things like that. Listen, we were living through a zombie apocalypse where the Walking Dead, the people that we knew were soul beings, the people that we were talking to, and we were just wishing that everyone would wake up. And then we start realizing that some people were NPCs, but there were so many more soul beings. And we were screaming and yelling, wake up, wake up, wake up, please. And now they're like, yeah, waking up. The true spiritual leaders, step into your place. Be seen, be heard. Because now you're needed. There'll be a lot of information out there, a lot of untruths, especially with that false matrix, that false ascension matrix, that tell you that something is greater, that something outside of you is greater than you, when in you lies the union of all things. Man, you got to embrace your uniqueness. As we're finishing up, embrace your uniqueness. You were made unique for a reason. You walk the way you walk, you talk the way you talk, you look the way you look for a reason. And that reason is important. We all in this together. We all in this together. We're all one. And we'll all need each other to get through this, because together there's nothing we can't do. There's nothing we can't be. Real talk. So that's about all I got for y'all. I'm not gonna go into my Chicago stuff tonight. There's some more stuff I gotta do on that, but man, like, I got some stuff written down on it, but man, you know, we already, it's something I did want to say though. Something I did want to say. I just want to say we've already had our first casualty of that war happen here on the mainland in America. We've already had it. And it happened in Chicago. And I'm wondering if that was what I was picking up, that was going to be a jumping off point of something. I don't know. But like I said, that land up there is called Little Egypt for a reason. All right, it's called Little Egypt for a reason. But that was something that I'm glad I wrote that down, because I didn't want to forget it. But we've had our first tag casualty of that war, or whatever you want to call it, but that happened. And all of the numbers lined up, you know, geometrically, they all lined up to basically, yeah, as I get a confirmation of my bells, you know, I am with that. But it all lined up to say that this was all like false flag stuff, and it's set up for a big event, right? And so that's 24. That's 24. So I've been picking up some stuff with Chicago and 24 and all that. So like I said, for whatever that's worth, I give it to y'all, and maybe it can help y'all. And like I said, I'm just being honest with that one. I haven't got the full downloading a moment of awareness with that, but it's coming. Even with I'm gonna get it to y'all too. Even with this, Jordan, right? Michael Jordan, number one seller in shoes. Shoes have what? Soles. Souls. So when you are selling shoes, you're selling souls. This is why I did want a shoe contract and I had one, but I got rid of it when I realized this. Um, so you don't want to be involved in selling souls. Well, Jordan also is a river that's what over there in Israel, right? And you cross the river Jordan. You get it? Crossing the river Jordan is symbolic of dying, selling souls. So this all has to do with Chicago or the Shika, right? The feminine energy and the birthing process. So, like I said, it's a lot. It's a lot, y'all, to unpack, and I just got to do a whole video on it. But that's where we get that all of that Obama and the Oprah and all that stuff, the O's, right? And then now we're in Halloween, the Halloween, right? So it's a lot. It's a lot. But like I said, we here for it. We here for it. We here for the change, and we're meant to see these things. Like these things don't even scare me. It's just exactly what I'm meant to see, and I see them for a purpose. So I expose them because we can change the timeline. We are literally creating our timeline with our thoughts, with our collective consciousness. And until this whole shift, this whole split is complete, until it's complete, we're interacting on two timelines. We're still dealing with the paper timeline, the papal timeline that is controlled by documents, by the dock, by water, right? And then we have the organic timeline that is controlled by spirit, by the universe, right? We know what that is. So we're living on two timelines. We're living in two worlds, two hemispheres. This is why your brain is split. There'll become a time when we won't have a split brain anymore. We'll be back one, we'll be back whole. So we're coming back into union. That's why this body develops this, the energy, the light, it develops this body, it creates this body. This body feeds off of it. This is why it must have the vitamin D and vitamin K and all these different things. But I digress a little bit. But anyway, all right, y'all, that's about it, about what I got. I'm gonna read some of y'all comments real quick. Let's see. You have to type 23 every day for work, and I think of Jordan. Right. See that, like that right there. Yeah. Same thing. Same thing with the 23s. Same thing. But you know, now look at that 2-3 comes to a 5, which is change, which is about, you know, imminent change for me anyway with the 5. But the bioregenesis, like I said, it's real, and that's what we're going through right now. Even the other day, I was having a whole feminine energy rising, right? Because you know, with our body, the right side is seen as the masculine, left side is seen as the feminine. So the whole left side was just activating, and I kept thinking about 23, and even with seeing it all day, 5s, as right now I see 23 on the screen. Amazing. And this is 23. And they've mentioned that this is the year of skull and crossbones, you know, all of that. But the reason why is because this is like what they call leap years. The reason they give us leap years, remember, as above, so below. Why are they giving you a leap year? Because there are certain years that you can leap the loop. There's certain years you can leap the timeline. And this started for us in 22. And now we're in 23. So we're building a foundation to be able to have the imminent change, to take the leap now. So this is why we've been feeling that, having that emotion and feeling of going home collectively. of coming back to this gnosis of being in union with self and soul group members, right? Soul cluster members, right? So this is why we've been experiencing this. Our bodies have been going through this change, this collective change for months, for months. We are really just now, really truly embodying that change. We're really realizing it now because our thoughts are different. Our actions are different. Our motives are different. We're because that feminine energy within us is just so different now. It has become totally different. So just remember that as we're going through this change, y'all, I'm telling you, you got whatever you are seeing, whatever mental image you are holding of yourself, that is what you're becoming. That is what you're becoming. Oh, hey, instructions for humanity. Hey, she put 23andMe, exactly, DNA, the 23andMe company, exactly what we're talking about. Because it's the upgrade of this DNA, the change of it. And this is why, how we create. We create with our DNA. We anchor in this energy. And this gives us access to our Akashic records. So when we are creating by the DNA, because we anchor in through the Akashic records, the past, we get lost in these loops when they just keep creating the same circumstances that feels familiar. So we run to the same circumstances. We've all experienced this in our lives, right? This is all they're doing. It's like a bait and switch. So it's like, what else? There was something else I wanted to share with you guys. Um, I want to say that's it. But anyway, 24, 26, guys, make sure that we are really anchoring this in now. Really anchoring this change in. All right. We started to change the recap real quick. We started to change 22, right? Now we're in 23. The timeline split is like just it's like a stick broken in half. And it's the little splinters that are left that are holding these two sticks together. So understand that the time is short for us to be able to do this work, but it is a work that we came here to do. So, and it's beautiful because we're just being ourselves. We're just being ourselves. Absolutely, right? So I think that's it, y'all. I love you guys. And oh, instruction for humanity. Yeah, I gotta get that. I gotta get that. You're right. And I'll have that up next time, guys. I have that up next time. I'm gonna start doing my reports again, um, numerology reports. And I'm not doing the astrology reports right now anymore. I'm just gonna be doing the numerology reports, and later on I'll add back in the astro numerology aspect of it. But I'll get all that information out to you guys, and I'll get that cash app up there for next time. But I love you guys, and please live in bliss and harmony, and be the change you want to see, because you are the harmony of source that is expressing itself in this present moment. You are the gift to humanity. I love you all. I love you all.